Hello, so today I thought it'd be really fun to watch Camp Rock, which is a movie I haven't seen in years because I don't actually like it. But because I watched High School Musical recently, I got interested to see if I actually like this movie now. I doubt it, but we will see. And while I watch this movie, I'll also be doing my makeup just so I have something else to do. I have a few plans for the makeup today, which I hope look good, but we will see as we go along. Demi and Lovato look so young in this. How old are they? They must have been about 16, surely. They still look like a kid. Does Mitchie do this whole thing in the morning before school? It started with their mum saying to get up, so surely they don't get up that early. They've played the guitar, the piano, they've put on like 5 different outfits, they've done their hair 3 times. Very productive morning.
He's got everything except a clue.
That's a little bit mean. He's probably just very stressed. If he's a kid and he's a star, you'd get stressed too. Ironically, the people who are in this movie could relate more to Shane than they could to the character that Mitchie is. I forgot this movie started with Mitchie's mum being like, we can't afford to go. And then she gets a job there, doesn't she? I do like that dynamic. I think it works really well. Also find it funny in movies when they just don't eat food. They have a full plate of food on the table and Mitchie's like, okay, bye mum. Off to school I go. Probably because Mitchie spent too long playing the piano in the morning to actually eat. Will we ever see this friend again? I'm assuming no. Ah, this character's here to do exposition, so we know more about the camp before Mitchie gets there. We see Mitchie at work? That seems like a cut scene. How weird.
Business is slow in the summer.
Wouldn't business be faster in the summer? Wouldn't there be more birthday parties and such? I don't know, I'll ask my boyfriend, he does catering. This camp seems so obnoxious. I get so annoyed at this camp, and I like music. Fun fact about me is I can play the viola and I can play the flute. So I do music, but this, too much. I also did dance for many years as well, but not my sort of environment at all. Wouldn't Mitchie want to meet him? Because he just said he's a famous guitarist and all that. This seems like a bit of a missed opportunity.
Learn that from the mixer, Jagger.
Why does that make it sound like he slept with Mick Jagger? Wouldn't be surprised. If you could, why not? I forgot they made Alison Stoner a DJ mixer in this, even though Alison Stoner was a dancer, I believe. So it seems a bit of a weird choice. Not everyone is there to sing, I'm assuming. There must be people who are just there to do music and stuff. And dancing. This just sounds like school. But to be fair, all summer camps sound like school to me. Are they not brothers in this? I think in the second one they made them brothers again, but in this one they're not. Because doesn't he call them his nephews in the second one? Is it just Shane who's his nephew in this one? Bit of continuity, oh well. Was this before or after the Jonas Brothers TV show? I never watched that, so I don't know anything about the Jonas Brothers pretty much. Other than what they're doing now, don't know anything about them back then other than being in Camp Rock. I did not realise this bit happened so early. This is what kickstarts the whole plot. I'm kind of impressed that it happens this early on.
I need hair product.
You can bring hair product to a camp. I did guy camping. You can bring hair product, don't worry. That's another thing they completely figure out in the second one. In the second one, all 3 of them are there, and they're all just like, oh, I don't care about you anymore. Did their band just completely fall off between the movies? They're no longer famous at all. Why does he look so confused? How can you not work out where the sound's coming from? There's only one building. Can Mitchie not hear the screaming outside at that point? You'd think they would, but they didn't make any recollection of it. Is she only in this one scene? I don't remember this woman being there other than this one song, just to show off the talent of the camp. I also think it's meant to show that Tess isn't as good as she thinks she is. But the actress who plays Tess is also good at singing. This is just a different style of singing. I want that guy's jumper. I really want that guy's jumper. Probably can't find it anywhere, but I want that guy's jumper. Why would you do this? There's no point to do this. I think it's because they're trying to show Mitchie as like a really shy character who just wants to fit in. And this is such a stupid idea. It's obviously going to come back and kick you. Caitlin's so mad. They met like 5 seconds ago. And isn't she friends with Lola? So why does it matter to her that this person she doesn't know has now left her?
Peggy doesn't mind. Do you? I guess not.
Why does Mitchie go along with that? Wouldn't she just be like, no, I'm fine, I'll just go to the other bed, because this girl's obviously already settled there. A bit odd. Ah, the bracelet. The bracelet's also important. It's good that Mitchie still makes an effort to actually go and do the work that she told her mum was going to do. I feel like a few other movies have done the same sort of plot, but also completely forgotten the fact that she's got another job to do. Why are we into this? This is really boring. We're only 20 minutes in. I'm not going to enjoy this. I might start skipping bits, quite honestly.
Better go. The queen awaits.
Why does she say it like that? If Mitchie doesn't want to go, Mitch doesn't have to go. They look sad when they stand up. These eyes are not even at all. Ugh.
Can't argue with a finger.
And I hate teachers that do that. If you don't put your hand up, don't pick on them. It's just mean.
A must. So you want in?
Oh yeah, they're going to introduce the fact that Tess just wants better people back up for her so she sounds good, because Peggy wins the final jam. And the reason no one knows she's good is because Tess makes her into a backup singer. It has just got so windy. If the sound of this video is terrible, I'm really sorry. I don't think that's that rude. If he's allergic to things, then it makes sense. I honestly kind of think that they were both very rude in that interaction, not just Shane. I do like the scenes with Shane and his uncle. I just think they're sweet. It's just his uncle trying to make him into a person again. Yeah, he's a bit harsh on him, but he is being a little bit of a brat. so it makes sense. Why is he the one teaching them dance? But I don't think, were the Jonas Brothers ever professional dancers? I doubt it. They were a band, right? I do like that Mitchie's mum just like, okay, I get it. You want to be left alone and to be independent. It's very nice of her to do that. There's much less singing in this than I remember. There hasn't been that many songs so far. I thought it was going to be more like High School Musical, where there's quite a lot of songs, even in the first one. But obviously that wasn't the main focus. Even though this is meant to be about rock music. Had they done a rock song? They had like a hip-hoppy song. They haven't done anything rock, I don't think. Oh, we're finally going to get a song. When did they make these outfits? Is that her actual voice? It doesn't really sound like her. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a dubbing voice over the top. Also, these backup dancers, we have not seen them once. I do not like this song. That's another thing with Camp Rock. I don't think I like any of the songs, and that's also why I don't get along with it that well. I find it boring, and the songs aren't very good. But I'm glad they made it, because they made the second one, and I really enjoyed the second one. Okay, we're going to skip the rest of this song. I can't. Ooh, they're finally going to start getting along. Oh yeah, could they get more into why he's like this? That he feels like he's stuck in a mold that he can't get out of. And then he actually smells, it's nice. Oh, it's so lovey-dovey. Their relationship also isn't that believable. They kind of just look like friends who are kind of enamoured with each other rather than like a relationship kind of vibes. I just got so confused when he picked up that box so easily. They mean chips as in crisps. My mind went, there are raw potatoes in that box. How is it so light? Makes more sense. Why does Caitlin care this much? It doesn't matter to her. Is she meant to be like the voice of the audience telling Mitchie, don't do this, don't lie? I don't really know. I don't like her character. I like her in the second one. She's kind of just like a nice friend in the second one. In this one, she's a bitch. Honestly, she's just a bitch. That shot was so long. He was just like, hey, awkward camera movement. Are we ready? Why was there such a gap? It's so bad. They're all like, yeah, this is so good, but it's actual trash. And you can tell she's a dancer, by the way. She's doing like all the dance moves behind it as well. How does that ruin Caitlin's show? Wouldn't she just start over? Why is Caitlin now like, oh, you're great because you're also being rude? Apparently you have to be rude to be Caitlin's friend? I don't understand these dynamics. Oh, they are in this movie a bit.
Well, I wanted a birdhouse.
Is his character just I'm the stupid one? I do not like that sort of character in this sort of thing. Is he texting on a calculator? Like, we'll give you character traits. You'll be the stupid one who texts on a calculator, and you're the musical one, so we'll give you a guitar. Oh yes, the search starts. This is very, like, Cinderella, like she's lost the slipper, and now they're trying to find the person. I'm assuming that's what it's based off of. I remember the second one had, like, a weird Romeo and Juliet storyline in it. And like that neither of them look at all like they know how to row a boat. Someone should have probably told these kids how to row before letting them go out on the water by themselves. Oh, they're in more of this movie than I thought. I really thought they were only in that start bit, but we've now seen them 3 times, so makes more sense. Also, this is the first song that's rock style. Everything else isn't rock, and this is Camp Rock. Maybe it's just Camp Rock because the leader of the band, leader of the camp, is a rock star, or at least was a rock star, retired rock star. But I guess most people want to be pop stars rather than rock stars, which makes sense. It's probably more money in pop stars. My other issue with the songs is that they can't just perform the songs. They're not integrated into this plot at all. They're just doing a performance. It's like a music video in the middle of the movie. Bit strange. They're also all really long scenes for some reason. I don't need to hear the whole song. Please stop mentioning the birdhouse, it wasn't funny the first time. Oh yeah, Tess hears him sing the song. Oh, and in this bit, you can tell the counsellor does not believe her at all that they stole it. But I'm assuming, because she's got the richest mum, her mum pays more towards the camp, and that'll be why Brown believes that if he doesn't reprimand them, Tess will call her mother and then the camp will get reprimanded for it. So it makes sense in the universe. But imagine being these kids, you'd be so pissed off. There's just so much repeating. The dialogue is just dull. Nothing really happens. It's very dragged out. This song's okay. And I like the trampolining in the background. It's a cool idea. I don't know when this girl had time to actually sort out doing this with them. But oh well, other than that, I like this scene, it's cool. But again, it's very much like, here's a music video in the middle of this movie. But I guess they're trying to go away from the traditional musical idea. But then you'd think they'd put more rock and different styles of music in. Like less of the pop music, more of like this style. Maybe a bit more rapping, and then like, definitely needs a lot more rock. Again, where do all these backup dancers come from? She's got different backup dancers this time. This camp has a lot of money. They bought a load of mirrors on moving boards, and this stage is amazing. How much are they charging for this camp? No wonder Mitchie's parents couldn't afford it. She's a musical artist, and yet she has her ringer on in the middle of a performance. That's just rude. And I do kind of feel sorry for Tess here. She hasn't done anything that evil. She just wants to impress her mother, and she feels that she can't do that by herself. How does she not burst out crying, like right on stage? I know she cries here, but how does she not start crying on stage? And no one goes to comfort her, no one goes after her if she runs off. No one seems to care. That's really sad. Also, why is her crying in silence? There's no sound over her crying. Bit odd. This is really good. but it's also good in terms of this is meant to be a camp rock camp. It's meant to be a finding your individual sound, and everyone else had backup dancers, whereas she just stands on the stage by herself with a guitar. So I feel like that's why she wins. She actually understands what you're meant to do at this camp. You're not meant to be a pop star, you're meant to find out who you are. I like that they just run up the catwalk to the back of the crowd. They don't even leave the room. Also, I feel like that twist works a bit, but it's not a very interesting twist. Like, we know they're going to perform. Like, Shane doesn't know who wrote the song yet, so they obviously have to wrap that up. They didn't layer their voice enough, and then the backing track's too quiet. Like, Demi Lovato is a really good singer, and yet they don't use their voice very well. Just like with Vanessa Hudgens, when they were just like, just walk down the corridor. They really gave them nothing to do here. So they're just gonna bop along at the back of the stage when the spotlight doesn't even follow them. Joe sounds more layered. He sounds like he's got another layer underneath his voice. But obviously that's production, that's not him singing. When they're harmonising it sounds good, but when they just leave Demi by themselves, they're not produced properly to actually fit their voice. But like that bit, I'm not gonna play the song because I can't, but they're doing like this high bridge bit over the top, but their voice is still singing the bass underneath, and then his voice is also singing the bass, and then an even lower bass, so it levels it out, and it just sounds more like a properly produced song. Whereas at the beginning, it was just Demi singing by themselves, with nothing up and down, no mixing on their voice, and Caitlin's meant to be a music producer. She's meant to be able to mix music. So you'd think they'd pre-record Mitchie's voice to go above or below while they're actually performing? I don't know, it doesn't make much sense to me. How would anyone else win when they have like 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the stage? Are the backup dancers going to be included in the music video? Like, how statistically is that going to work if any of the other teams won? Because Caitlin also performed with Mitchie, so Caitlin would have to be included. With Tess, all of her backup dancers, they also win if Tess wins. So logically, Peggy's the only person who could win the whole competition. There is no other option. Oh, and the final song. I always forget this song exists. It's not catchy at all. At least in my mind, it's not catchy. I do remember bits of the dance, because again, they used to show videos on how to do the dances, which is why these dances tend to be a little bit more simple and repetitive. Same with the end of High School Musical. That dance is very, and then we're going to do this when it says rise, and we're going to clap, and we're going to do that sort of thing. Whereas you wouldn't actually do that in a performance. Well, at least not if you're professional dancers. When did they learn this song? Like, in High School Musical, some of the songs I get because they're meant to be performed, and you can tell they're meant to be performing them, as other songs are meant to be like, we're not actually performing these are just like in the heads of the character. This one is obviously meant to be a performance. When did they learn this performance? It's like Shane and Mitchie are right next to each other the whole performance, but they didn't know that. I don't know what happened. I'm so confused. I think I'm applying too much logic to this, but I don't like it. Is that it? Oh, it just ends like that. My conclusion of this, I did not enjoy it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, but I didn't really enjoy it. I found it quite boring. The songs were not that great in my opinion. They were fine, I just didn't quite understand how they fit, 1, into the story, and 2, into the theme of camp rock. It's meant to be a rock camp. The wind is getting really heavy and it's starting to rain, so I'm going to wrap this up really quickly and say if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, subscribe, as I'm going to post 2 videos a week and I'd love to see you again. But until then, bye!